Well, good evening again, everybody. This is Flying Crow. I finally decided to get another update. I got a new camera here, and I think the picture's a lot better. It still doesn't really have all the features I want, but I guess it'll do for a little while. So anyway, first thing I wanted to do is remind everybody of the contest that's going on over at River Valley Railroad. Remember, I had sent Chuck Baker some coal cars over there, and he's decided to put on a contest for anybody who's wanting to win those. There's 12 coal hoppers, Santa Fe, all individual road numbers. They were roundhouse. They're brand new. I've assembled them all with Katie's, but that's it. They've never been used on a layout. So if you want to be part of that, remember that I need to get up to 200 subscribers, and Chuck needs to get up to 4,000. So once that happens, then he'll draw the names for see who wins those. So I think it's a good deal. Go over there, and if you haven't subscribed to Chuck over at the River Valley Railroad, go ahead and do that. Like his videos, because he's got some good ones up. He really did a while back. He did a good series on the JMRI system. And that'll really help you if you want to use that. Plus some other things, updates on his layout that he's doing, his helix that he's building. The other thing I wanted to say was Chuck's got a Cricut cutter, and the Cricut cutter can take your designs for your buildings and accurately cut out the walls, the roof, things like that. So if you've got a design and you want Chuck to do that for you, give him a shout over there at the River Valley Railroad at his channel, and he'll work with you on getting that done. I think it's a great machine. I know he can do plastic. I think he can do wood as well, but you'll have to ask him. I'm not sure. So anyway, the other thing that his Cricut machine will do, he can print out decals, stickers, things like that you might want, and that's one of the things that Chuck did. If you can see this KCS decal that he printed out for me, and I'm going to just zoom out a little bit here. Sorry for bumping the camera. I have to zoom out, not zoom in. There you go. If you can see this KCS decal he did for me, it's just beautiful. I sent him the image file. He printed this out for me. You notice it's got the centering paper, so whenever wherever I decide to put it in my train room, or maybe on the fascia of my layout, I'll make sure it gets good and centered because of that. But it just does a beautiful job, and so talk to him about that. Let him do some work for you. I think it'll come out really well. All right, well, what have I been doing? Now, the other thing I've been up to is, of course, as you can tell by my engine's running, is I've finally been wiring my layout. So after all, ultimately, it's all about running the trains, isn't it? And that's what we're doing this for. The scenery is just to make it look a little more realistic. But the running of the trains is the great part of this hobby. So as you can see, I've got my bicentennial unit running there. I'm going to break this video up into two parts. This one will tell you what I've been doing, and then I'm going to do a second video right behind this showing you some having the trains run a little bit. So anyway, what I've done is I've soldered, of course, my feeder wires to my track. I don't know how well you can see that here where I'm pointing, or how well this camera focuses into that. So I've got my feeder wires soldered. I painted over them to kind of blend them in with the rail. And if I go back down here under my shelf, you can see that I've got my 12 gauge bus wire running across here, and my feeder wires drop through with the Scotch locks and the spade connectors. And I think the spade connectors and the Scotch locks are the best way to go for something like this. It'd take you a long time if you wanted to solder each one of those wires, but however you want to do it, as long as they're connected. That's the important part. One of the things I'd like to mention, you know, I know most of you probably are experienced model railroaders and have wired your layouts, but if you're new to the game, new to wiring, color code your wires. It'll help keep everything straight, and if you need to, you know, go ahead and write down what colors you use for what. So from all of my track, I'm going to use black and red, and my wires that are closest to the wall are always going to be red, and my wires closest to me are always going to be black, and that's how I keep mine straight. So you'll notice the black wire runs to the black bus, and the red wire runs to the red bus. So if you look under here, you can see I've got a lot more feeders to wire up. I've got a lot dropped down there. I've run out of bus wire. I'm at the end of it, so I'm going to have to go get another couple rolls of wire to finish that off. But then I've got it, of course, hooked back into here where my Power Pro hooks into my electricity. So there it is. So the other thing is, just for the sake of neatness, I have screwed my bus wires up to the bottom of my shelf. So that just keeps things a little bit neater, is all that's for. One of the other things somebody had commented on my video is how, talking about he wanted to see some detail of my track work and what I've done. Well, I think that can be done a lot better now that I've got a little bit better camera. Although I still can't get extremely close, I can zoom in a little bit on the track work. And just to remind everybody, what I did is I painted the track and took it outside before I laid it. Painted it camouflage gray, sorry, not camouflage gray, primer gray. I had the self-etching primer that I got. And so what I've done with that self-etching primer is I painted it first, and it was a grayish color. Then I came back over it with the camouflage brown, and then came over that and misted the camouflage brown with some of that camouflage black paint that you can get, you know, just at Walmart, or you can pick it up at Lowe's or Home Depot, wherever you go. So once I did that, I came in and hand painted all the rails. I just used another number 4 paintbrush. It seems to cover the rails pretty good and also get down onto the tie plates. So it's my own concoction of paint. It was Tester's Rust mixed with olive drab. And then once I did that, and I'll back up a little bit more so you can hopefully see it a little bit better, it focuses. Once I did that, I just painted the rails by hand. And just remember, when you go around the country, rails are going to be different colors. They're going to be different colors based on how new or how old they are. So that's some things that you want to take into consideration. You want to look at the part of the country you're modeling and what the rails look like and mix the paint accordingly. So I've done that, and then once I laid the track and put the ballast down, putting the ballast over it actually adds another level of realism to it, because it weathers the ties even further, you know, gives them a little grayish look. So I think that's the way to go, at least for me. Like I said, if you make sure, though, if you haven't laid track or if you're laying new track, you know, paint it, because it just adds another level of realism to your layout. So anyway, what I'll do is, at this point, I will stop the video, focus back in on my KCS Bicentennial unit that I've got there. You've seen that in another video. Of course, it's certainly unique. But I'm gonna stop the video here and do another video and upload the two together. Next one's gonna be just a couple, you know, just running the train a little bit, just just to show you that and see how it looks. Take it easy. Look at part 2.